Alistair Rae. Alistair, Sinclair Sinclair, and Rae Rae.
Rae. And can I call you L?
Yes, you may.
What is your birthday?
30th of August, 1929.
29. So now you are
9.
89. Wow. You have keep up your health. You look very good, sir.
It's not too bad.
And tell me about where were you born?
I was born in Durban.
Yeah, and you just gave me the address where were you born.
Yes.
Can you tell me?
567 Stamford Hill Road, Durban.
Durban. And that's the harbor city, isn't it?
That's the main Durban city. The house is still standing as far as I know. I've been down there and checked.
And tell me about your family when you were growing up, your parents and your siblings.
My parentage, my father was an inspector of mines and machinery. And they put him in various places. And we ended up here in Johannesburg. Over the years, going not many places that we spent a long time in. And that's where I spent my time here in Joburg.
And did you have brothers and sisters?
The Hammer?
Brothers and sisters. Were you only child, or did you have brothers and sisters?
I had two sisters.
Two sisters.
Two sisters, sorry.
And
no brothers.
No brothers.
No brothers, two sisters.
You're the only son there.
And they all passed away a long time ago.
And can you tell me about the schools that you went through in Durban or Johannesburg?
Oh, Joburg, yes. And then I went to the smallest schools I can't remember much about. Then I went to Potchefstroom Boys High School. I can do this with my fingers.
No problem. You can do it. Yeah, sure.
And I went to the knowing things of the before matric was Potchefstroom Boys High, and I got my career, the what you call there, or
diploma, certificate,
standard 10.
When was it? When did you graduate your high school?
When I was 17, which you can work that one out.
17, so 1946?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was 17.
And what did you do after the graduation?
I looked for jobs. My parents were at various other places. I don't know exactly in what order they were there, but I looked for jobs and took various jobs that were paying something. Then I thought of flying.
Oh, so your dream was flying?
Yeah, Baragwanath, it's here. They don't use it as a flying school anymore. But I went out there and I said, do you take on people for flying? They said, of course we do. That's what we're here for.
And wasn't it expensive to be in that school?
No, they paid you. It was an Air Force.
Oh, you're talking about the military.
Yeah, the military. And that's how it started.
When was it? Was it 1948?
I had my 21st birthday party here. And then I went over
21st, so 1950.
I spent about 2 years in the training part of it. Training.
What kind of training did you receive?
Tiger moths.
What is that?
That's a very light aircraft, one engine, two wings, and that was the basic trainer when you learned how to fly.
Ah.
Two positions in the thing for the instructor and the pupil.
So two people sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you a good flyer? Were you good?
Oh, it was lovely. I never looked back after.
I know you loved it, but were you good? Were you good pilot?
Was I a good pilot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
That's, yeah. They didn't want to throw me out or anything like that, which happened to a few others that just didn't quite take to it.
Oh, so some of them are dropped out?
Yeah.
Ah. And did you know at the time that you were in the school, the Korean War broke out?
Yeah.
How did you come to know of it?
Well, we were in training, and the word came around that we were wanted for to go over to Korea. And didn't know much beside that.
Did you know where Korea was at the time?
I had to look up it on a map.
Oh,
No, didn't know where it was.
you didn't know any history or anything?
Nothing.
Nothing about Korea?
Not a thing about it. But they said, there you go.
But it was a voluntary system, wasn't it?
I talked to Leslie last night about this.
What did you tell her?
Voluntary was, you will go. That's voluntary.
That's not definition of being voluntary.
We had, in the government, we had a Frikkie Erasmus. He was a minister of, I don't know what the hell you'd call him. And they say it's Frikkie Rae. And that's what happened.
So it was voluntary, but they say you go.
You go.
Okay, I understand that. So were you afraid?
No, not at all. Indeed. Not at all.
You were going to war and you could be killed.
Yeah.
What do you mean,
Didn't make any difference. Didn't make any difference. It absolutely didn't make any difference to me, because then I would have stayed out. And a lot of the people that were on that course did exactly that. They said, no, damn it, I'm not going across to Korea and get my neck shot off or something like that. And no, it didn't worry me.
So
when you got over there and saw that they weren't talking rubbish, they were talking truth, with how many bods go out on a flight and come back on a flight and all the rest of it. And we didn't lose a hell of a lot of people. We lost, 50s or 60s, 55, I think.
But let me ask this question. So do you think that you were trained enough to be in the war?
No.
Tell me about it.
Well, I think you got your training in actual happenings over there, and then you knew you were in a real war. That's it. We used to get feedbacks from the chappies who were there while we were still on course to give us an idea of what to expect.
So when you told your parents that you are going to go to Korea, what was their reaction?
No problem whatsoever. No problem. My dad was in the last war, and he was taken prisoner up in the Western Desert. Excuse me. And he spent 2 years in a prisoner of war camp.
Your father?
My father.
During the World War II?
During the Second World War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we didn't see him for 2 or 3 years, and
Where?
back here in Joburg.
Oh.
We repatriated when the war was ended.
So it must have been really hard for your whole family waiting for your father to return.
My mother got over it very, very well. We had a house, we had all the rest, and that is the time I went to Potts Boys High School, so she was still getting money and all the rest of it. And then he arrived back.
Safe.
He was, I wish I could show you a picture of him. He was shot. They escaped. The Italians when Tobruk fell. Now, don't ask me the date. But when Tobruk fell to the Germans up in the desert, my dad and his contingent, he was a major, said, "We are getting the hell out of here." And the one bod put his pistol in through the watching and shot him in the head.
Oh.
So their escape business was not on. He had a deep hole in his head.
Oh. And he survived.
He survived. The Italian doctors looked after him.
Oh.
And he survived. No brain damage, no this, no that.
That's
no
a miracle.
That. Yeah.
So your father didn't mind you going to country?
No, not at all.
Was at the time also a threat from communist country around the South Africa here?
I wasn't interested in communism or anything like that. I never have been, and I wasn't at that stage of the game. But when I got to know more of why the war was on, it changes things a bit. And that was it.
So, do you remember where you departed from here to Korea and when?
Palmytfontein Aerodrome. I don't know what it is now, but you don't know. That is south of Joburg. And
when was it? When was it?
Can't you ask the
1950?
It was when I was 21, 22, 21.
Okay, so 51 or 52?
No, 52.
52. And you left from the area close to Durban?
Yeah, Palmytfontein, with packets of cigarettes like this from United Tobacco Company. Yeah, climb on the aeroplane. They reckon I'd finished 500 cigarettes before we crossed the Limpopo River.
500 cigarettes?
Yeah. And that's where I started.
So did you go through the ship or did you fly?
We flew. We flew.
And to where?
Flew from here to Rome, and then from Rome took an aircraft across east, and went through various countries, Singapore and all those places, and arrived in
Tokyo?
Tokyo. Tokyo.
How was Tokyo at the time?
As was the?
Huh?
Was it?
How was Tokyo at the time when you landed there?
Oh, no, we were fine. We had a ball. We really did. There were 6 of us, I think, on the aeroplane.
Only 6 of you?
Of the people who were going over on that. The rest had gone by ship when the first Korean thing broke out. They had ships going over and taking the bogs out. The Korean War lasted for 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure on the
3 years.
3 years. I was there till the end of it.
And what was your, at the time, what was your rank?
second lieutenant. Yeah,
And you were in 2 squadron
2 squadron.
of South African Air Force.
Yes,
And
flying cheetahs.
Flying cheetahs, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Do you remember where did you land in Korea?
We landed in Korea on the west coast of Korea somewhere.
West Coast?
Yes. We landed, where was it? I can't remember the place. Chinhae was one thing where we trained from. Once we arrived in Chinhae, we were billeted there for a couple of weeks to go on to Mustangs and all the rest of it.
So let me ask this question. You told me you didn't know where Korea was. You didn't know much about Korea.
No,
And you landed in Korea for the first time.
yeah.
What did you see? What was the image of Korea, to be honest with you? I mean, to me.
Lots of bloody hills and mountains and all the rest of it on the sea and upwards and all the rest. And that was all. Because we trained and we did this and we did that and all the rest of it. And that was it.
Did you see any, how did Korean people look to you, and how was the city? What did you see there?
Didn't see the cities at any stage until you went on R&R, rest and recuperation. And then you saw the cities, and they showed you where to go to a hotel to have your 1 week or 3 days or 2 days holiday. That's the only time you saw it.
Yeah. How was it when you saw those cities?
Oh, very nice, very nice.
You mean, are you talking about Japan or Korea?
No, we're talking about Korea now. When we landed in Korea, you take off at Haneda, which was the Japanese place,
Airport.
and go into the others. That was Korea.
Okay.
It's just across the road.
Yes. What about training? So you were trained with a very light plane in South Africa, and then you came, and in Jinhae, what kind of aircraft did you train yourself?
We trained here before we left. We trained in Spitfires.
Spitfire, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the closest we came to Mustangs that we flew over when we got there. And we trained on that, and they said, that's it, you'll further, what you call when you arrive in Korea.
Was it?
Yeah, we sat and did a written exam.
Did you have to take a written exam?
Yeah.
In Korea to fly?
To fly the Mustangs.
Oh, really?
To fly the Mustang.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And you obviously passed.
Yeah, you got through. Yeah, you got through it.
And how was the Mustang? What kind of aircraft was it? Did you like it?
Most beautiful bloody aircraft that I flew the Sabre after the Mustang over in Korea.
Sabre meaning F-86?
F-86. So my 2 favorite airplanes are the Mustang and the F-86.
Which one do you like most?
Oh, the F-86 was totally different jet.
It's a jet.
And the what you call was piston. Beautiful aeroplane. Old as the hills.
How long did it take for you to be able to fly this Mustang?
Immediately.
Immediately?
Yes, just immediately. They put you on the runway. They say, there's the bloody runway. There's the mountain. Don't hit it. Climb over it. And this is on the sea at Chinhae.
Yeah.
And off you go, and they've given you a circuit to do and bring you back again and put it down on the runway and not in the sea. And that's how we learned.
So you're born to be a pilot?
Huh?
Huh?
Yeah.
So you didn't have any problem flying that Mustang?
I didn't have any problem. But a few chaps ran out of bloody petrol when they were lost after doing the exercise. But I wasn't.
So from Jinhae, when you finished the training,
yes.
Where did you go? Did you stay in Jinhae?
We stayed at Jinhae for a long time, and then they came with the news that we would have to go up to K14.
K14, which is?
That's more towards the front line.
Yeah, north.
North.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to take the Mustangs up to K14 and do what we had to do from K14 across the line, come back to K14 and back to Jinhae.
Back to Jinhae.
Yeah.
Did you fly from Jinhae to involve in the mission?
Yes, oh yes.
Tell me about it.
Not from Jinhae.
Not from Jinhae,
no,
right?
No, that was too far back.
Right.
That I'm trying to think of the other names there, but that was too far back.
Mm-hmm.
You had to go up to K14 and then on to the coast. When we got Sabres, we went up to K55.
Mm-hmm. And what was your mission? What were you supposed to do?
It was supposed to bomb the bomb line moved, as you most probably know, it moves as the ground troops move up. You go and assist them in moving further up. And so you hammering the enemy from that bend. And that was what our business was with the Mustangs. Dropping bombs and strafing and all the rest of it.
Mm. So did you fly over to North Korea? Over North Korea?
I flew over North Korea.
Mm.
I crossed the border quite frequently, and which wasn't allowed, but I reckon the war was ending at that stage.
Until?
So you could do it. What the hell? And they came back.
Mm. Were there any enemy the aircraft?
They had the MiGs jet. It could go higher than we could in the Sabre.
Right.
But it wasn't as fast. And the Americans had a squadron there that only did interdiction as far as air-to-air. They scored quite a few times. I didn't. I would have liked to, but I didn't.
So American pilots engaged in dogfighting, interdicting this Russian MiG. And your main mission was to bomb the targets.
Mm-hmm. That they gave you over the radio when you arrived at the place, wherever the front line was. They tell you go on to this frequency, and they give you on the frequency there's so and so and so and so and so and so happening. Go and give them hell. Drop your bombs on that.
How accurate was it, the bombing? Were you good?
No, it wasn't too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't too bad. Look, most of the bombs that we lost over there were shot on from ground fire when they were in Mustangs. That's as far as I know.
Were there any occasion that you were threatened by the anti-aircraft artillery?
What?
Anti-aircraft artillery.
We shot at it, and nobody ever made a hole in my aeroplane.
You never been hit?
No.
Wow.
Never been hit.
That's quite lucky, isn't it?
Yeah.
How many sorties did you finish?
I finished 128 sorties.
100?
I did 75 sorties.
That's the minimum, right?
That was the minimum. Then came back to this country and then heard they were getting jets, so I applied to go back for a second tour.
You were crazy.
And everybody said that, but I said I wanted to improve my business of flying. Yeah, no, really. It was the case. And they sent me back, and the Sabres had just come in, and we went through a similar training program as we did with the Mustangs, and finished 28 sorties on that, 75, 128, I don't know how many of you. And then it ended, the whole bloody thing ended.
I think you must be the pilot, South African pilot, that has recorded most of the sorties.
Who has?
Right? I mean, mostly the General Muller, he said that it was a 60-something.
I know, Muller.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came back and he didn't go over there again. Bob Rogers, you've most probably heard of.
No.
He was a OC of the Air Force when everything was over. He did the same thing. He came back and then he went over again. Yeah.
So you are not afraid? You were not married at the time?
No. No, I only got married.
Did you have a girlfriend?
1954. Huh?
Did you have a girlfriend at the time?
No.
So you were single and you were flying everywhere you want?
No time for girlfriends over there. No time for... I had a girl that I sent the odd letter to back here. So they had a good laugh over. But no, nothing solid as far as girlfriends are concerned.
Do you remember when you left Korea first time? 1952, right?
I've got a logbook here, but I can't remember.
Uh-huh. And then you came back to Korea. You went back to Korea.
Yeah, I came back, stayed around for a couple of months. And they said, okay, you can go back. The Sabres have arrived, you can go back and what you got.
So tell me about the Sabre you flew. How was it?
Beautiful.
Student doesn't know anything about it, so tell them, please.
Man, it was quiet. It was very quiet, whereas the Mustang was noisy. And this thing went like a bomb, but it was a fantastic bloody aeroplane.
And so at the time, the Sabre was the best aircraft fighter, right?
Yeah, that we flew.
Mm.
And then the Sabre came in. Magnificent aeroplane. And
what was your main mission with the Sabre? Same mission?
Same mission was interjection, and if you had bombs aboard, they would tell you got bombs aboard today, your target is that on the other side with the lines on. And air to air, if you are surprised by enemy aircraft, shoot the bods down.
Were there any encounter with the MiG?
No.
Yourself?
No.
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 Mm-hmm.
No.
So you completed more than 100 sorties there.
Mm.
Wow, that's a record.
What?
That's the record. More than 100 sorties that you flew.
Oh, yes. 128.
128.
Some people did 150. And I'm not too sure. Joe Jabir, he's dead now. He stayed there for another 75.
Another 70.
Joe Jabir. He died recently. When I say recently, within the last year.
Were there any dangerous moment where that you could have lost your life?
No, except for running out of petrol.
You mean the gasoline?
I took a flight out on a training flight from K55. We spent a bit too long outside, so we were short of fuel coming back. And the one bod, my number 2, said, he's got no petrol left. So I said, well, jump in front of me and land. There's the field, which he did.
Mm-hmm.
And I came in after him, and I turned off the runway, and the engine went. Now that was close.
Very close.
That was close.
Maybe a minute later you could just fell.
No, but what it could have been, and I would have had to bail out and lose a bloody Mustang, a Sabre, and all the rest of it, just because didn't use the corp properly and see it.
Mm. How many pilots did South Africa lose during the Korean War?
55. What? 34. Okay. Total.
Plus 2 ground personnel.
Yeah, mostly on Mustangs.
Yes.
Mostly on Mustang. 34.
Mm. How was the enemy Air Force? Was it strong?
They did nothing. They just flew and tried to frighten people.
Did they succeed?
They didn't do anything. Not when I was around anyway.
Mm.
They didn't attack us on the ground there or anything. They used to send out Bedcheck Charlie.
Bedcheck Charlie.
Used to send that out and send it over Sewell just in the evening when all the boys are at the pub drinking and having a good time, and then the siren would go and Bedcheck Charlie was coming across, and it was a very light airplane. They worked this one out. They didn't capture one as such, but they said it must be a very light one.
Mm-hmm.
And it just made a nuisance of itself to say this or that.
I heard that they actually threw hand grenade from the plane.
Oh, from the plane, yeah. That thing,
Charlie.
yes, because they couldn't get very high. They were full of fuel and all the rest of this. That was Bedcheck Charlie. That's the closest they came.
Mm.
Didn't drop any bombs.
So out of this 128 sorties, you didn't have encountered any dangerous moment. You are blessed.
I am blessed.
Mm.
I am blessed. Not a thing.
Were you able to go around some cities in Korea while you were there?
Cities?
Yeah, like a Seoul or... You were in
Seoul I knew of. We used to go up there on occasions. For what reason, I don't know. But... and I saw a bit of Seoul, the old place, the old city of Seoul, from high up on a hill there and all the rest of it, and we had that.
Mm. How was it, the city? Was it completely destroyed, or was it okay, or do you remember?
With the buildings that were still going up, it was hammered out. It wasn't completely destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
The other cities, I don't know. The other cities, I wouldn't know about at all.
So let's talk about the soft side of the story. Where did you sleep? What did you eat? How was living there?
Upline under the Americans.
What do you mean this? It was during the war.
The Americans. Oh my God. Americans, officers' mess. They looked after you.
Huh.
And you could go in there and order bloody steak and eggs and whatever. You had to pay for it, but it, fantastic.
Real egg?
Huh?
Did you eat real egg?
Real?
Real egg, not powder.
No, powdered egg, possibly. Possibly powdered egg. But it didn't make any difference to the taste of the thing. No, the Americans looked after us.
So your relationship with the American pilots were good?
Very, very good.
Mm. Do they drink a lot or smoke?
Not as much as the South Africans drank. No, it's true. True.
What was your favorite drink?
Well, it was beer at the
Beer.
time. Beer. That was all.
How much were you paid, by the way, as
How
a
much
pilot?
you pay?
Yeah.
There you've got me, you know, it was, I don't know what we were at in this country, but we were paid double salaries for going over to Korea.
I see.
I don't know how much it was in the state, but you got twice that you would have got by sitting back home and listening to the radio.
Were you able to write letter back to your family?
Yes.
How often did you write, and what did you write?
Oh, to just say, having a good time, no problem. We weren't allowed, it was censored in any case. What you wrote was censored.
Really?
If you try to say that this happened to this happened to this happened, they just screwed it up. You couldn't send it.
Were you able to receive letters from your family?
Yes, very infrequently because of transport purposes. And
do you still keep those letters with you, or is it? No.
No.
So let me ask this question. What was the most difficult thing, even though you had a very good time with the American pilots and they looked after you, but what was the most difficult thing during your service in Korea? If I ask you to pinpoint one, what was the most difficult thing?
It's very difficult because I didn't find...
You didn't seem to have any difficulty.
I didn't find anything that difficult at all. I didn't find anything that difficult at all.
This is some kind of interview of misinformation for our children. You know,
No, I didn't.
He didn't have any difficulties. He was not afraid of any war, and he completed 128 sorties.
128.
Yeah, 128.
I think it was 128, I think. But no, there wasn't anything that... Else I wouldn't have gone back onto the Sabres. I said to them when I came back from the Mustangs, when you get Sabres and you want people, I want to go back. And Jan Blow, the OC at Swartkops, he phoned up and he said, you can go back. So that was it.
So after you left Korea, have you been back to Korea recently?
I've been back to Korea.
When?
Twice. With Jock Lello, who's now dead. He was also over in Korea. And it was something I went over with him, with Jock. And we spent three or four days there. Lovely.
Who invited you back? Who invited you back?
This was a thing that they started for the people who'd been there, who could do it again, free of charge, free flying, free accommodation, etc. That soon stopped, I think, because people were climbing in all over.
No, we're still running that program called the Korea Revisit Program.
Yeah.
Do you remember when was first time you went back? Was it 2000 or is it?
Oh, no.
1980s?
I wasn't married. I wasn't married then. I wasn't married. That's in 1954 I got married. This is in 50...
No. I'm talking about...
Going back to...
Have you ever went back to Korea after the war?
Yeah.
When?
Well, that first one with Jock Lello that I talked about. And a second one with another general, but he's also dead now. We left Oliver Tambo, or whatever it's called now, and we went back.
So
and they saw the change there. Yeah.
Tell me about the changes that you witnessed. Compare the Korea you saw in 1950s when you were in the war.
Yeah.
And the Korea that you saw after the war.
Yeah.
Give the detailed comparison to students, please.
There was a big change. There was a big change. And I think I mentioned it earlier. You could climb up to a restaurant on top of a hill and look down on the city. On the guide that takes you up said, there's the old city. And you could see the old city.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got modern hotels all over the place. So that's the only time I went over there twice.
What did you think about it when you saw completely different?
Very nice, and glad that one had taken part in it. Yeah.
Right? Were you proud of yourself?
Hmm?
Were you proud of yourself that you fought there in Korea?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, I think so. I think so.
Mm. The Korea you saw in 1950s were completely ruined.
Yeah.
Do you know where Korean economy is now?
Well, they were number 3 or something in the bloody...
Oh, that's too much.
No, their shipping. I'm talking about their shipping.
Oh, yeah. Shipping used to be the number 1 in the world.
They used to be number 1. I thought it was number 3 or something.
Now it's 2 or 3 because China is there, but used to be number 1.
Yeah.
But we did not know how to build a very large oil carrier.
Yeah.
We didn't know until 1970s.
Yeah.
But we made one, okay? And we were, do you know very large oil carrier, right?
Yeah.
And when they make it 2 parts because it's too big. And then at the end stage, they put it together.
Put them together.
Do you know what happened?
What?
It didn't fit. It didn't fit because we didn't know.
We've got it happening now. Go ahead. Because it what?
Because we didn't know how to put it up together. That's how we started. But now we are
one piece was fitted, but the second piece was made by a different person.
No, we made it together, but it didn't fit.
It didn't fit. Now it's fitting.
But that's how we become the largest shipbuilder in the world.
That's right. Still.
It's about 2 or 3 now. Yeah.
I remember being told that about the largest shipbuilder, etc.
So Korea is now 11th largest economy in the world and one of the most substantive...
11 compared to our economy, what?
I don't know where is your economy now?
I don't know where it stands. You know?
54, I think. 54.
54? Yes, sir. Amazing, man. Amazing.
And
they deserve it.
So what do you think about all this transformation that took place in Korea when you were there and now, and you've been there twice? So
I don't know what's going on there at the moment. We only get news that we get in the paper about Korea. But this north, you can't even go on to the north-south bloody thing. That is...
What do you think about that? I mean, South Korea is now trying to normalize the relationship with North Korea.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think the north and the south should combine. I don't see why the necessity is to have this bloody bod that makes atom bombs now and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll happen. And I'm not a very political person.
Yes, I know that. I can tell right away.
Oh.
Yeah. But you support for reunification of Korea, right?
I would say yes. They're the same people.
Same people.
Are the same people.
So by 2020, in 2 years, there will be special commemoration of the Korean War, 70th anniversary. Do you have any message to the Korean people about that?
No, too far ahead. See what happens too far ahead.
Sometimes you need to be political, okay?
Ah,
Any message to Korean people?
to the South Korean people.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know. It seems to be working there, and everybody's happy and all the rest of it. I'd be happier still if they had North Korea in the thing and not fighting with them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it.
That's about it. So
Thanks, Doc.
I want to thank you on behalf of Korean nation for your honorable service.
Thank you.
And you completed 128 sorties.
Yeah.
And because of your service, the Korea has a chance to rebuild our nation.
Yeah.
And we're going to make it as educational material so that
Yeah.
teachers and students can learn from your experience.
All right.
Thank you so much again.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Excellent.
Can I?
Now, Al is surrounded by his two beautiful daughters. And would you please introduce yourself, please?
Leslie Tanner, the
Spell-
eldest. of
You are
his
the eldest.
Three daughters, yes.
Tracy Rae, I'm the middle daughter.
Middle daughter.
Yeah.
And let me ask this question. Has your father mentioned or talk about his war experience when you were growing up?
Yes, he definitely did. But then again, as he said, you know, he didn't find anything scary or anything like that. He just told us a little bit of what it entailed.
Oh, that's a very exceptional because most of the Korean War veterans didn't mention about it. What about you?
Dad used to show us photographs
Slideshows.
of his time in Korea. That's how we were aware of it.
So what did you know about Korea while you were growing up?
Very little.
Very little.
Very little, other than that they were
Very
fighting.
little.
Yeah.
How about you?
No, the same.
Same?
Very little. Yeah.
And I heard that you are the principal of K7 primary school.
Yes. Yeah.
Do they teach anything about the Korean War?
Not the Korean War. They doing new South African history currently, but they very little on Korean War.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They should actually do that because it would make life more interesting.
Working
Wow.
farmer.
Yeah, I want to hear more about it.
No, I just feel they should. We need a little bit of diversion, you know, from what we are currently getting in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would be interesting.
And you
For
know
kids to
that.
learn.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's it.
So you know that Korea, when your father was there, almost like ruined. Now we have about 11th largest economy in the world. We are just 1/5 of your whole territory. We don't have any natural resources like you.
No.
No diamond,
Yeah.
But we become one of the strongest economy in the world. Why didn't we teach about this?
You're right. They should be teaching. They should be teaching.
Mm-hmm. Are you proud of you? Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, very proud of my father. Very proud of my father. He has been an example to all of us. Very good to be able to share the history.
So,
Yeah.
do you have children?
I have a son,
Son?
21-year-old son.
21.
He's in Pretoria at the moment. And he just loves the Koreans. He does.
Why?
He just thinks they're fantastic people.
Has he been to Korea?
No.
Government has a program.
I know we tried to go through the forms some time ago, but it is hair-raising. I mean, it's about that thing. You know?
He will take care of it.
All right.
So ask him, please. Yeah.
I will.
Dr. Kirk will take care of it. And your grandson will go to Korea and he will see the Korea, okay?
Yeah.
70 years after you fought.
Gee, whiskers.
My
Amazing.
grandchildren are who?
21, Michael, and Ashley is 24.
Ashley, though she's nearly
She's not going to
30.
be, yeah. She's
Ah.
24, yeah.
So anything that you want to add to your father about his experience as a Korean War veteran?
For somebody who was not political, he had an amazing foresight to want to go back a second round after coming back.
Oh, we're going back to Korea.
Yeah.
I went there twice.
Yeah.
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
How about eldest daughter? What would you say to him?
That I think you should have spoken more about it, quite frankly. You know, brought us right into it. We most probably didn't ask the right questions. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, I'm very proud of my dad.
Haven't got time to speak about it, to see what it's about when you do one of those tours over there, because it's everything
Just
is
moving
laid
all the
out for
time.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the big problem.
Mm-hmm. That's why I think we need to do this.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
We're going to preserve your memory forever.
No.
You're going to keep talking in 20 years. Anybody who access to your website, they will be able to hear from you. And at the same time, we want to engage with our future generation about the war he fought.
And it's important because I don't think our children ask history. Too many children just assume that life carries on. They don't find out the history, where they come from,
What it's all about.
what it's all about.
All about.
So, would you allow me to visit your school?
I would love you to come and visit my school.
Give them your business
I
card.
would love you to come and visit my school.
Wow, this is one of the most impressive interviews with the beautiful Honey Hill. It's really Honey Hill. And you are the happiest father because you are surrounded by 2 daughters. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.